Hi everyone, welcome to my channel once again. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create a data clock using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This is a straightforward project that every beginner is supposed to know. So that's the reason why I took it upon myself to show you how you can create it. So without wasting my time, let's start the video. So at the end of the video, this is how our data clock is going to look like. You have our heading here. We have our hours here, minutes here, and then the seconds here, as you see. So this is going to be a simple project. Let's start. When you look at my environment here, I have my VS Code ready, and I have my browser here. As you see, there's nothing here, which shows that we haven't written anything. So you see, when you go to the folder here, you see 3 files over here. I have the HTML, CSS, and then the JavaScript files here. So we need to start the coding from the index.html. So let me start with the boilerplate. I have to link all the files, starting from the CSS file. And say star.css. And I link the JS files. Let me change the title over here. So I will say digital clock, like this. So now that I'm done with the linking of the file, I have to start the structure of the data clock. So I will start by writing a class container or a container class. Now inside the container, I have to write each one with a class of header, and inside that header I'll write data clock, and after that I'll write another each one with an ID of clock. Inside that clock I'll give it 2 zeros like this, 2 zeros like this, and now you see that we have our structure over here. So now that we are done with the structure, let's go on to the CSS so that we can style everything. So I have to reset the padding and then the margin of the data clock. So I will say margin 0, and then I will say padding 0, and also I'll give it a font family, and the font family I'm going to give you this one. Now that I'm done with that, I have to come down to the body, and the body, I would like to change the color of the body. So I will say I'll give it a black background. Now you can see our data clock is not showing anymore. We do justice to that. So let's come to the class container. Is here, as you see. Container is here. So let me copy it and bring it here. Container here, and I'll give it a background of red, and also give a color, the text color to be Alice blue, and I have to give it a weight of 75 pixels. No, supposed to be percent, and then I have to give it margin 0, margin 0 auto, and again padding 5 pixels, and again margin top border radius here to be 5 pixels. Just align, I will say border 1 pixel, solid gray, and it's looking good. So the next thing that we need to do is to style the clock itself, talking of this area. So let me choose an ID, the ID of clock. So here, ID here. So for our clock to start working, we need to give it a function, or we need to create a function or write a function over here to cater for all the things that it would like it to do. So I will say function I need to now declare the time right now. So I will say let and then come down here and say let be equal to clock. So get hours over here. I'll say let minutes equal to clock now dot get minutes. Now say let seconds we clock the clock now dot get seconds like this. And now that we are done with that, we need to create a time. Let time string, the time string be equal to, and I will use batik. I use the batik and say dollar curly bracket. And I will say hour over here, hours, and here I will say, so let me copy this 3 times and then paste it 3 times over here. So now here, let me change it to minutes, and I will change this area to I close that code. And now that I'm done with that, I have to show all these things that we are doing over here, or how to show it here. So this is what I will do. I will say document.get element by ID, and the ID we are working with here is clock, because we want to show it to the clock. So when you come here and come to the HTML, you can see we have an ID of clock over here. So let me copy it and come here and say clock over here, and then I will say test content, because we want to show it to the user. And then I will bring this one. I will say it's equal to time string over here. Now that I'm done with that, I need to call this function for it to start working. So let me call the function over here. As you see, the clock is showing over here. The time is showing over here. So for it to work properly, we have to give it, or we have to set the interval. So I will say set interval, and I will say I will bring the function over here, and then I will say 100, sorry, 1000 and the seconds over here. And our clock is now working. So as you see, it is 12:33 a.m. So I don't want to be showing 00, or I don't want to show only one or a single number here. And when you watch this area, when it gets to a single number, it will turn to a single number. So I don't want it that way. I want here to be 2 zeros. And if this one is 3, supposed to be 03, that's what I want it to be. So as you see, because it is a single number, there's no 0 in front of here, and it's not looking good for my liking, so I have to change it. So this is what I can do to change that. In between this code here, I can say hours is equal to hours less than 10, hours less than 10, question mark, and I will say 0 plus hour, and hours colon R. Now you see we've added 10 to the first one. So let's do it for the seconds and the minutes. I'll copy minutes and place it here. Minutes here. And I'll copy the seconds too and place. I see everything is working right now. It's perfect and it's working as intended. So there's this one thing that I have to do. When we open it full screen like this, it's not looking good at all. So I have to minimize the size. So let's go to the CSS and say maximum width over here, and the maximum width is supposed to be 350. Now I think it is looking good. So now on the data clock, it's working perfectly. So this is how you write, or this is how you create a data clock using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If this video interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell, and as well share the video for someone to also benefit from it. Thank you for watching. Until we meet again, bye-bye.